How could a group of people who suffered through extreme discrimination see their culture spread through an entire country?
The bubonic plague.
Well, I'm Sydney and this is Max, and we're here in New York City to investigate the Harlem Renaissance.
Two kids travel to places. Two kids discover traces of events that all happened before, where secrets are revealed and more. Sydney and Max, blast through the past. Sydney and Max, blast through the past. Sydney and Max, blast through the past. Where are they going today? Sydney and Max, blast through the past. They see the past in a whole new way. Sydney and Max. Sydney and Max.
There has got to be more interesting things to see in New York than this.
Well, Doc said to meet him here in Marcus Garvey Park.
Did he say why?
Nobody said, be ready to experience a renaissance.
Oh no, not the Renaissance. We talked about that in school. I'm not wearing any funny clothes, and I'm not gonna listen to some weird poet dude play his tiny guitar.
First of all, those tiny guitars are called mandolins.
Liar.
And second of all, I don't think it's the Italian Renaissance since we're here in New York City.
Well, what Renaissance was he talking about?
The Harlem Renaissance!
The what?
Yeah, what's the Harlem Renaissance?
It was a movement by African Americans in an effort to gain equality and civil rights.
So you mean the civil rights movement during the 1960s?
This happened much earlier than that, during the 1920s and 30s. And the Renaissance influenced areas like art and education and literature and music.
So why would I care? It's not like it influenced me.
Max, do you listen to music?
Yeah, sure, but it's not your kind.
What if I told you the music you listen to was influenced by the ragtime and jazz developed during the Harlem Renaissance?
So you're saying that rock came from jazz?
That's right, and that's only one of the ways the culture was spread.
So how did the Harlem Renaissance start?
I'm glad you asked, Sydney. The Harlem Renaissance started with the blending
I'm gonna
of
go check
two
out that tower.
cultures. And
Come on, Max, we gotta go.
Where's Doc?
He had to go check out some landmark in the park, but he gave me a list of cool places to check out.
Unless one of those cool places is Yankee Stadium, I'm not interested.
Okay, but he said Harlem has a lot of great places to eat.
Really? Well, let's go.
Isn't this exciting?
What, the buildings or the intersection?
No, it's not what's here now, it's what used to be here.
Different buildings in a smaller intersection?
No, the Cotton Club used to be here.
Oh yeah! Wait, the what?
The world famous Cotton Club. All the greatest musicians of the 20s played here.
Yeah, like who?
Count Basie, Duke Ellington, even Louis Armstrong.
Oh, I heard of that guy. He's the dude with the huge cheeks, right?
He's only the world's most famous trumpet player. All the greatest African-American musicians played at the Cotton Club.
Well, that makes sense because most of the people who lived here in that time were African American.
Yeah, it's too bad they never got to see them inside to play.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, the Cotton Club was a whites-only club. The only African-American people allowed in were the performers.
That's not very fair.
I know, but hey, at least it didn't stop the music from going all over the country.
You're telling me that everyone in this time was listening to these guys?
Yeah, that's right. Doc said that jazz came out of the African-American culture and changed music forever.
It's too bad the club's not still around.
I know somewhere that still is. Let's go. Look, Max, the Apollo Theater.
Now, were the African Americans allowed in here?
Not only were they allowed in there, but Doc says this is the first theater in New York to hire African Americans.
Wait, I saw a show on TV that was filmed at the Apollo. This place is still open.
That's right, but it first became really popular during the Harlem Renaissance.
Huh. I gotta admit, this is pretty cool, but let's go get some food now.
Oh, but there's somewhere else I want to see first.
All right. you wanted to see a YMCA, you could have just stayed home. I mean, we have one right down the street.
Not like this one.
Yeah, you're right. Ours is newer.
Doc said this YMCA originally offered training to African American men so they could get manual jobs and work in the factories.
So was the trade school. We have a ton of those back home, and I guarantee you they're in nicer buildings.
It wasn't just a trade school. Doc said this was also a meeting place for several political organizations, including men who were in the NAACP.
What's that?
The NAACP is an African American civil rights organization. It was founded in 1909.
But that was before the Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah, but as culture spread during the Renaissance, they must have been really active in fighting for civil rights.
Huh. I guess this place must have been pretty important back in the day. Okay, we can go now.
All right, let's go find some food. You know, one thing still has me confused.
What's that?
I still don't know how the Harlem Renaissance started.
A mystery that we'll never know. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Doc said that Harlem became really populated during the 1920s. And a lot of the immigrants were from the West Indies.
Look at that, you figured it out. Let's get out of here.
But he also said that African Americans from the South came up to New York to avoid unfair laws.
Great. So what?
They were probably uneducated, but hard workers. So they would probably want all the manual labor jobs.
Probably.
Max, the West Indian immigrants didn't face as much discrimination at home as they did when they came to America.
Yeah, so?
Well, don't you see? The West Indian immigrants must have had ideas that rubbed off on the African Americans from the South. They probably showed them the importance of an education, and together they formed a whole new culture.
You really think so?
Why not? Remember the Italian Renaissance? The most skilled artists and brightest thinkers of Europe all went to Italy.
So you're saying that the most skilled artists and brightest thinkers among African Americans came to Harlem?
It's possible, and the culture they formed spread all over the country.
Huh. Well, let's go pick up some of Harlem culture right now.
Which part?
The part that sells soul food.
Two kids travel to places. Two kids discover traces of events that all happened before, where secrets are revealed and more. Sydney and Max, blast to the past. Sydney and Max, blast to the past. Sydney and Max. Sydney and Max.